Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2, and last time we had another successful run going down with the black coat. And we've done a few of those in a row at this point, but all the more reason why I'd like to go up to the surface this time round. For what it's worth, there was a balance patch that we are now experiencing for the first time in this run. Technically, since I had a little bit of a backlog, some of the previous runs you may have assumed that balance patch was active, but that is not the case until this one right here. So if you're looking really closely, you might have seen some stuff that didn't quite seem to make sense, because they've now been changed. Some things buffed, some things nerfed, nothing that immediately stood out as hugely significant, but of course we can see as we carry on here. We do have the staff as the bonus weapon, and we've used this somewhat recently, but we may still opt for it here because the bonus is for Polyphemus, so that means we would be going up, and that means we can finally check out what the rival version of that Polyphemus fight is. So that intrigues me. We may change some of these things around a little bit because I'm a little bit, well, I feel like the surface is definitely harder than the underworld, and you might want to approach your strategy for it just a little bit differently. Yes, we definitely want the rival fight. We had debt last time, except we got 2 boons that gave us bonus gold, so we actually got on net more gold than usual. But I feel like we could maybe still get away with that this time around. It's this one with the extra enemies that I'm a little concerned about on the surface, especially in those latter floors where stuff gets pretty tricky. Feel like might even be better to go with either having enemies have a little bit more health, or maybe even the Revenants, which we haven't seen at all in Hades 2. There are some enemies in Hades 1 that have a built-in ability like this, or at least I'm pretty sure that's what this is describing. So this might be the setup that I would be looking for, and this would definitely be the highest fear that we've done for a surface run. In fact, we've done only 2 successful surface runs thus far, I think, compared to a whole lot going down. We did unlock the doggo, and I think we might even see if we can upgrade you further here. I think this does lock us in as soon as we press this button, but let's do it, because we have not checked this out yet. So, yeah, your passive bonus gives us extra magic. We can improve that, although I don't love that aspect. Higher chance of getting the digging spots, or wait. I didn't remember seeing this last time. Okay. I mean, that sounds pretty good. In general, I mean, the upgrade makes it a little more frequent, although might not be a game changer. Well, actually, the staff is pretty good for some of the charge-up skills, I think, depending on which aspect you take. Let's upgrade this, though.
I'm tempted to try one myself.
Okay. So the doggo is a little bit stronger now. And, oh, what is this?
At the threshold to the world beyond the crossroads, the altar of ashes thrums with ancient power, boundless as that of the gods and heroes depicted in the myriad arcana.
A power within us all.
Well, maybe not all of us. You are still a goddess. Okay, so I think we probably will take Gold Purse, especially if we were thinking we're gonna make things more expensive on this run. I think the bigger question is, which aspect do we want to take? Because most recently, we took the aspect of Malinois, since this did get nerfed, for what it's worth. This is one of those things that was stronger when we last used it. So, perhaps for that reason, and because it was fairly recent, our last time with it, I'd sort of prefer to go with something else here. Aspect of Circe. I think we saw this in one of the Chaos Trials, but we haven't taken it on a full-blown run. I'm a little intrigued by that. Momus, if you are going with the charge moves, is potentially quite good as well, and what with the extra magic we have on this familiar, perhaps there is a case to be made for that being a bit of a synergy. But I don't know, how much damage can we get from this psychic leash? And Just how helpful is that? I don't know. I mean, that's a 50% improvement. But I don't recall whether this was enough to actually
Show me your true strength.
get kills in the past. I see. I don't love when things cost Nightmare on multiple different upgrades, because as I've been saying in the past, it's hard to accumulate a lot of Nightmare. It takes time. So obviously at this point we are absolutely committing to to this aspect. Otherwise, all these upgrades are perhaps a little wasted, at least in the short term. We'll do one more. We do still have a decent bit of Nightmare, in large part because of our relatively successful runs as of late, and we've also been purchasing some of the Nightmare from the Wretched Broker. So now, I would hope that has enough damage that it can actually somewhat reliably get some kills, and it means we want to be spamming our cast quite a bit. We want to have a cast-centric run. And even if the number doesn't look that high with the damage, bear in mind that's every 0.2 seconds. So it hits a lot. Okay, I think we have that established. We have... Oh, let me just make sure we actually have this one equipped. Yes. Okay, that looks good. Then, just do a last double check here. That is enough to potentially get Nightmare from this, and fortunately, all it takes is defeating Polyphemus. So that's the other thing I was thinking, is we've done a lot of runs to the Underworld in a row, and had a lot of success with them, but you know what that means. That means we are overdue
Now for Typhon.
to die to Eris.
Hephaestus.
Oh, I really thought the boon was supposed to be right in front of us. I was like, I don't see Hephaestus. What are you talking about? Okay, so we want big cast.
Off to pay us all a visit then. We'll try. Reckon you're liable to get into a tussle or two on the way, but I can offer a complete protection plan against that sort of thing.
Okay. Let's see. We can get the dash, we can get the cast. So I would like the cast to be really good. That's the downside, is we'd like to get it a good cast as early as possible so that we can really benefit from that aspect. On the other hand, long term, that means we would very much like for it to be a good cast. So I do like Hephaestus's cast a lot, but I would very much like for it to be better than normal rarity. So let's do the dash.
Set. Bound.
But cast is also lasting a really long time. Here's the psychic leash as well. Yeah, it's not only the leash, it's also that our familiar creates a second cast. That's why we were seeing the other one on the ground. Oh, that's... Okay. That's the Revenant, or whatever it was called, where basically what happens is, if you defeat an enemy, it has, I think it was a 25% chance of showing up on... of basically turning into this almost ghost-like creature. And if you... the ghost doesn't attack you, but if you leave it alone for too long, it will basically respawn the enemy. So you potentially need to follow up and attack additional times. I do like the Selene, because we very well may find ourselves wanting to spend... Like, here you see a lot of these guys. How quickly do they transform? Also, okay, that was actually really frustrating. I was trying to attack them. The game absolutely insisted on locking on to other enemies.
This is for you.
Go, Hecuba.
Oh, right.
Good job.
Hecuba is the digging specialist. That's the other thing, is we've been collecting a lot of good resources down below the surface, but we have a lot more we'd like to get on the surface as well.
Let us together shine this night, O moon.
Death to Kronos. I
Oh.
sense that you are growing closer to manifesting the reality that we have long since sought.
That's promising.
Will you yet drain whatever light is left in him?
I feel like that is the most direct we've ever heard Selene be. She's been very supportive, but maybe has not been that clearly opposed to Kronos. Maybe not. I think I saw in the patch notes they at least delayed the amount of time it now takes for you to make that first discovery of the super technically duo boon between Selene and other gods and goddesses. I don't remember if they actually said it's less common overall even after you make that first discovery. So there's no duo boon here, so we're just going purely off of which version we like. Restores a tiny bit of health up to 3 times. Replenish whenever we use fountains. I don't know if we've ever taken this, to be honest with you. X turns you impervious. Living Nightmare, which we've taken only once or twice. Yeah, these are all hexes that we have generally shied away from. So I am not sure what we want to do here. It might be based on... Theoretically, the one at the bottom here is the most upgradable long-term, whereas this one is the most... the biggest immediate impact. Move slower for 50... Move 50% slower for 4 seconds. I mean, against big bosses, this could be good. The other thing is that this, once upon a time at least, was something that we really did not want to take going down because it doesn't affect Chronos, at least until you get one of the upgrades at the Cauldron that I think we have now completed. But that was another reason why we shied away from it. It also costs a ton of magic. How much do we have? Because we got the bonus amount from our familiar, but it's not showing us. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it.
Time can be controlled.
So I think we've only used it once. We also do not have enough magic to ever use it at this stage. We need more. Okay. Take the gold. Oh, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so what are we working with? We have a hammer. That did immediately catch my attention. We have... Other than that, we already have a Festus, and wouldn't be opposed to doubling down on him. We do see 2 Hera rooms, so we could get 2 boons from her. The double heart is intriguing as well. Tend to like Hermes. I mean, the question is usually more so, which ones are you skipping? This is maybe an easier way to approach it. Hestia, I'm generally not a huge fan of, but we haven't seen much of her, so maybe we haven't given her enough opportunity. Also, she is one of the few remaining gods and goddesses that we have yet to give our initial nectar to, so we don't have her keepsake. Not necessarily sure now is the best time to address that issue, but, what if we skip... Wait, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rooms. We need to skip 3. I'm thinking skip Zeus. Skip double magic, even though it is good value, because magic in general is not something I get terribly excited about. And maybe Hestia? That would be enough. That means we are going double Hera, we are going Hephaestus. Let's start with the hammer, and we'll see how we're feeling after that. Because this could be very big for us. We'd love to see something that makes a big difference for our cast. Where are you? Yeah, those... And it was the little eyeball. I saw it get spawned, and I wasn't sure if that was eligible to become one of those revenants or whatever they're called, or if it was too small for the game to even bother making that a possibility. These guys, the revenants are admittedly really annoying to hit. Yeah, there's a good example of he did respawn. Do you have to... Oh, you know what it is? It's because you're not supposed to hit them. You're just supposed to run up to them. Hold on. I think that's why. After 5 seconds, this becomes the foe it came from unless you collect it first. Okay, that's why. Okay, I'm glad that's the case, actually. Because it just seemed really strange. I kept on trying to attack them because that's what you do to the equivalent type of enemy in Hades 1. But after reading the fine print, it works a little bit differently in Hades 2. That's alright. Okay, so what do we have here? Attack has more range and deals 100% damage to distant foes. Good in a vacuum, for sure. I do like it a lot, but as I was saying, was really looking for more of a cast-oriented option here. Specials bounce additional times. We got this with our previous staff run, so this is familiar. Whenever you slay a foe with your charge attack, restore life. A little bit of life. I suppose if you hit multiple enemies with your charge attack, that would mean you could restore more than 5 life? I don't know. I mean, this feels like it's the best option. but it's a little hard to gauge at this point. It's not what I was looking for sure. As I said, the cast was the ideal pick, but now we do have a little more direction, because we do now have reason to prioritize a bit with the attack. Obviously, that was... we were going to want to get something there, but let's go Hermes early, because he does have some boons that the longer you have them, the more effective they become. So I want to be mindful of that.
Stay where you are.
There's the leash. So technically, the farther away we are from our familiar, the bigger the leash is, the more enemies it can hit, and therefore, ooh dear. Therefore, the more damage it can do in total. I'm gonna break this now. Start this. All right, it's our dash that has the Festus. Theoretically, it does have a cooldown. Excuse me, sir. Please don't do that. Come on. Yeah, honestly, at this early stage, our best source of damage may very well be just the doggo leash. So just throwing down a cast and deliberately trying to position ourselves and our dog so we can still deal damage with that. If we could get something that increases the duration of our... actually, I don't know if we want to do that with our cast, because that means there's more time to position, move around, and maximize the damage from the leash, but it also means it takes you longer to replace the cast, which is usually how you're dealing the upfront damage that it supplies. If you have one.
Good going, him. That ought to trip him up a bit. Find time to come on up and help us drive his forces off our turf. What do you say?
That's the idea. First purchase, each location costs a little bit less, and another item appears afterwards. So that's a good example of something that the earlier you get it, the more valuable it is. This one, good example of not very good at the beginning, but over the long term can become quite good. This one I'm generally not a huge fan of. I mean, I would love if either of these had higher rarity, because if so, they could both be incredible. I think we probably will take this because it does also help to mitigate the effects of you. Not entirely, but that was one way we managed to deal with that issue last time round. Oh, oh no, just one of these bonus rooms. But we got 2 ways to improve how much gold we earned, even though things were more expensive. Oh, it's a free palm. Okay, we have basically nothing to upgrade with it. It improves the cooldown on the dash damage, which... okay, sure. Don't think that's particularly big difference maker. I would have greatly preferred to have had more boons available so that we actually had more meaningful options to upgrade.
What a
But
stench.
okay, so why hello there. Trying to set this up. See how effective it is. I don't know. I don't know that that's going to make that big a difference. It may actually be that the just second cast overall is the biggest difference maker, and that means we really want a cast boon, which we do not yet have. And I think we go double up on Hephaestus here. Here we have a humongous leash, which helps a lot.
Boulder.
It's a boulder? That's what that is? I remember we saw that in the past, and I did not know what that was all about. Okay, there's confirmation. All we have to... okay, that was bad. All we have to do is just walk up to those green guys rather than attack them. Okay, we should heal off almost all of the damage we took. Almost all. Also, do that.
Should put a dent into that barrier. In the name of Hades.
Okay. Special blast effects also inflict glow, which means foes take 18% additional damage for 5 seconds. That's a little interesting. I don't remember seeing that before. This is another one that long-term could be beneficial. Technically, it's not even that bad in the short term, because we have that bonus magic from our familiar. So, it's not horrible by any means. This intrigues me, though. I mean, if we could get one more source of blast effects, I think it's still worth picking up. But if we could get the cast, it's kind of what I was looking for. Oh, even this heals. Just going into these mini rooms, so we will be back up to full health, and we'll also get 25 max health from that. It also gives us the bonus from the Grave Thirst, the bonus bones, just for the little room. I mean, we'll take that too. Okay, so not really what I was anticipating, at least, from Hephaestus. And so we have 3 left. I was originally thinking it would be double Hera and then double life. However, since we do have Hephaestus precedent, and you could argue there is reason to expect that Hephaestus boon to appear again, the one that gives us the extra life based on how much magic we have, getting double magic here is not horrible value. And the only reason why I'm leaning toward taking Hera is because there are 2 here, so we can potentially get some synergies with her. But if you accept the fact that we might not have that immediately happen, then we could get that Hestia boon that we were talking about and gift to her, which we have been hoping to do. So maybe that's the plan. This, and this. Probably this first, to be honest. I was about to say, the way that guy was just staring at me.
Enjoy the silence, sister. We'll have company here any moment now.
Oh? Oh, as in other enemies. But yeah, the way that one enemy was already spawned in and just staring at me made me think that he was going to be doing something like Heracles, but then, obviously, it was Heracles himself who took his place.
They're mine.
Oh. Nope, don't do that. I have a secret weapon. Don't make me use my secret weapon, I'm gonna do it. Do the little eyeball dudes count? If so, then that's great value. Oh, it's the fire. That's what I do that. But do we specifically have to... Oh, we are technically supposed to target the one that has the target marker on it. I suppose that makes sense. I don't really remember what this does. Oh, it slows stuff down. There you go. We technically have automatic charge up on our Hex. That's the only reason we're able to get it. Because we otherwise would not have enough for it. Oh. Okay, so I definitely did not... Oh. I definitely did not make that much of a point of going after the ones that had the mark on them, because it took me a little while to realize that that was what we needed to prioritize. We also took a lot of damage in the process, because I basically just face tanked every enemy. But we did get a bonus 120 gold out of it. So that's worth something.
You make it to the mountaintop as yet? In case you haven't, nothing good awaits you there. Or so I hear.
Oh, well. We have, in fact, been there. I will have you know.
Typhon? I'm surprised the Olympians don't have you helping out with him, instead of bashing a bunch of weaklings far from where the real danger is.
Ouch. But also true.
The Olympians want to bide some half-god stealing their glory. I get the drudgery, not the important work. Thank the fates that you get some of each.
Yeah, also, in case you didn't know, Heracles is half god, half human. He's a demigod. He was, what, the son of Zeus, right?
Stay strong, son of Zeus.
There's your confirmation.
Do that again.
Oh, he is not pleased. Also, I saw something in the patch notes. I remember saying that Heracles will no longer stand around brooding and giving you a death stare after the encounter, except that's exactly what he's doing right now, so I'm a little surprised. Oh, maybe because we haven't taken this yet. That's probably it. No, I forgot to gift to her. Okay, well, we set precedent for her. We'll see her again, hopefully.
Permitted back up top, at least. But you're a witch. Must be you've got your cures for everything under the sun.
Because, yeah, I could not tell you when we last saw Hestia. It was a long time ago. Okay, let's see. Whenever... What? Well, there you go. Heracles does have something to say about this. We get the special, or whenever your attack or special deals damage, restore magic. Oh, that seems like an incredible magic restoration boon. We've seen them... I mean, basically every god or goddess has some form of this boon. And you can't have multiple of them simultaneously. But I don't remember seeing Hestia's version, and this seems like it is the most reliable. Hold cast, aim fireball that explodes on impact, binding circle forms. Oh, that could be really good, though. In a vacuum, this is probably better. With our specific aspect, this would be preferable, though. It is higher rarity. We aren't using a ton of magic right now. I think we probably will still take this, to be honest. Okay, and I did see this.
Join me.
There we go.
Leave the dead to rot.
Enough of you! Would like for that door to have opened, though, because we could use a little more healing. We will, of course, get access to a fountain before we're through here. So yeah, we can still gift to you, but you're not the one I want to gift to. I would rather get the chance to do that with Hestia. That was, in large part, the reason why we went in that room in the first place. Okay, we'll go here so we get the healing, since we do kind of need that now. What about my leash? Please give me a moment. Also, one moment over here. Oh, okay, you're making more friends. I see that now. Ooh, that was close. I'm gonna release this real quick. Preferably... Would also like to destroy this. It just feels like everything is slow. Oh. With our current setup. Including our Hex, which does slow enemies. So just getting pure damage would be nice, except... Oh, okay, hold on. A little more going on in here than I expected. No. Okay, the palm might help. We have a few more options here, although I'm not sure that all of our stuff is upgradable. Okay, we can get the cooldown further improved. Technically... This is not diminishing returns. This is actually, it's getting better the more you upgrade this. Because sure, it's still, we're improving by 1 second, but percentage-wise, as the cooldown time gets lower, knocking off 1 second is better and better. So that's actually a little bit intriguing. I don't think that's a standard Hestia boon. It's technically a supporting cast boon. All the ones that set the cast at the binding circle are like that. But it does still increase the damage, which is nice. Or we get the debuff on enemies that we hit with any of our dashes. Gets ever so slightly stronger. That's pretty hard to get excited about. So I think we'll go with one of these two. I mean, technically this does make it easier to activate this. Guess we'll take you. Oh, and it's a mini shop. I almost missed that. The timing of that healing would be very awkward. Also, how did we get that much health back? Or is it just from the health we picked up in the room? Okay, and remember, everything is more expensive than usual, also. So, because of the fear that we took. So... Oh, but we also get the first purchase that we make. Another item appears afterward. So I feel like that means we want our first purchase to be a big purchase from a full-blown shop. I don't know if it always gives us exactly the same type of item that we purchase. Like, if we get a Centaur Heart here, are we going to get a second Centaur Heart? Or might it be a Soul Tonic? Might it be a boon? I'm not 100% sure. We have taken this boon before from Hermes, but I don't remember exactly how it works. So, I mean, it's still pretty good value. I think I'm going to do it. Wait, it gets more expensive? Oh, the first one was discounted, but the subsequent ones are not. So it also means you want your first purchase to be relatively expensive. So I'm going to get this too. Usually I don't go with the max magic upgrades, but or at least I'm not very aggressive with them, but I'm anticipating that at some point we will want that Hephaestus boon that gives us max life based on our max magic. And we have some potential to make that pretty big. Is there anything else in here? I don't think so. So there's one more room that I think is a double magic room. That's at least what we were planning on, but as I was saying, if we're looking for extra damage...
What are they?
Oh. If we are looking for extra damage, technically we could forego that double magic in favor of Zeus, one of the Hera rooms, which, given how we are about to go into the Polyphemus fight, there is something to be said for that, although we should still get the penultimate shop, and we did spend a bit, but we should still have enough to do something there, even if things are more expensive than usual, so we'll still go for this. It is a little speculative. I am hoping that we can still find good value from increasing our max magic, but perhaps being a little aggressive on that front. So that's a boulder. Theoretically from Polyphemus, I'm guessing is the idea. That was close. Who was that? Oh, there's a lot of people left, as it turns out. I would ideally like to get rid of the spawner, if possible. Huzzah! This is, I believe, what they call overkill. Oh! What the heck? What the heck? Where did he come from? I could have sworn the previous guy was the last enemy. What gives?
Sure.
Okay, so lots of max magic now. Like, lots of max magic. This is the kind of situation where I would typically prefer that we swap those two around and have 175 life instead of 175 magic. I mean, I guess they're both somewhat high at this point. And we do have more incoming, but we're not there yet. Okay, so that was the last room. Get our healing. We are still back up to full. That's not a big issue. Seeing if there happens to have been anything else that spawned in, but I think we'll be fine. So we're a little under 500 gold, which I think...
Do not depart just yet.
Oh. Yeah, that helps a little bit. We did need some of this.
Bronze.
So... I know we purchased some of this stuff before. Or at least a magic upgrade. I think I'm going to pass on this. I want to be mindful of... We have a decent bit of gold here, in part because we took the gold keepsake, which also helped to mitigate things costing more over the course of this run, but that's only a one-time boost at the beginning, so long term it's going to be hard to keep pace with how much money we're spending, even with the Hermes support. So I think it's probably just the boon here.
Fair trade.
Gold is a fascinating metal, is it not?
mortals often fought and killed over the stuff. Only the rarest gemstones from your father's domain appeal to them more.
Okay. So we do not yet have an attack boom. Oh, and I forgot, we have an attack hammer upgrade. More range and deals more damage to distant foes. So, what's the wounds? Your strike has plus 50 power when inflicting this. Can be reapplied after 3 seconds. And it has. So it's actually kind of similar to some of the things that Hephaestus does, where big-ish burst of damage with a cooldown, and percentage bonus on top of that. That is helpful too. Otherwise, your casts. This would be a standard Ares cast, but I would like for that to be higher rarity, even if, as I was saying before, casts are going to be important. They are already important. Chance to deal 200% damage 200% damage increases based on how much life we've lost. We took this possibly even on our previous run, and it's hard to know, it's hard to see this, exactly how much of an impact this is happening, but we're kind of building our way toward having a large max magic and then subsequently max life build. So this could be really good long term. I would like for this to show up again later. Ideally, even with higher rarity perhaps, because I think I am going to take this here. Just because I would like to have a little more firepower going into this Polyphemus fight, especially give... Oh! Right, and that's the extra one that shows up. So I guess we'll take that too. I'd rather take that than you, if we're talking about pinching metaphorical pennies. This is more worthwhile. There's a lot of gods and different gods and goddesses in that case. But remember, this is going to be a more difficult rival version of the Polyphemus fight for the first time, so I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into here. But I want to be mindful of that and try to get a little bit stronger if we can. Your strikes emit chain lightning that bounces up to 4 times, but primes a lot of magic. We do have a lot of max magic, so we can afford to prime some stuff. After we take damage, we strike foes for a lot of damage, up to 4 times. With this kind of rarity, that could be pretty decent. Do we have... I mean, if we have a lot of quick attacks of various sorts, then this can be really effective. If we have slower attacks, then that's less so the case. I think we're leaning a little bit more toward the slow attacks between Hephaestus and Ares, as we were just saying. So maybe this is better, especially if we're going to be going with a tank build. So let's take this. I think that's the move. And we're about to find out what rival Polyphemus is all about.
Until we meet again.
It's you.
Oh!
I thank you, sorceress. Infusing fear into the night lets me conduct certain experiments I normally cannot. Though I'm also bound to test you here, as does great Hecate below.
I see. There's always something about Medea's tone of voice, her demeanor, that made it seem like she's maybe not so much of a friend and ally, or not quite as much as some of the other people that we've come across on our runs. So it does appear as though we may be about to fight her, or at least that she's about to find some way to buff Polyphemus in this rival fight.
Test me? Lady Medea, what of the massive Cyclops already barring my path?
Right?
She'll try to eat us both.
What about the massive Cyclops in the room?
Nah, this witch here is not exactly to my taste. And besides, we got ourselves a little arrangement now.
I see that.
I can't smell as easy, what with all the bodies popping up.
Your fight is with the Cyclops still. My aim is merely to enact the will of night in my own way. Do try your best to pretend I'm not even here, which may be difficult, admittedly.
Okay. So yeah, the thing with the rival Hecate fight was that it was at least somewhat reminiscent of the base Hecate fight. So it was relatively straightforward to adapt to it. You just needed to be more careful. This seems like it's just going to be totally different from the base Polyphemus fight, so I have no idea what this is going to play out like. Also, the arena seems small, or is that just me? Oh, don't go there. Oh, he's jumping. He's jumping big time. I also don't remember what happens if we just attack a base, normal version of a sheep. I really hate how his jumps always hit you if you jump into him, regardless of... Whoa, hello. Whoa, those travel so far, too! Wait for it. What you doing? Oh, he's healing. Okay, that might have actually been a good window to do that. I also probably should have done that initially. Oh, okay, apparently I stepped in that, in part because... Oh, there's a cure. That's, very similar to an encounter in Hades 1. Okay. Yeah, that's old. Poison's everywhere. What the heck? There's so many places where I can't walk. Oh, including there. Get him with the pet leash. Theoretically. No, stop that. Please. And also I got poisoned again. And that... So it does 1 damage every, like, quarter second or something like that, so it really adds up if you don't run over to get the cure. That's how it works. Nope. So, in case it wasn't clear, we are definitely going to have to use at least 1 Death Defiance in this encounter, which I kind of anticipated might be the case as soon as I saw that this was going to be significantly more difficult than the standard fight. Just to set expectations, that is the opposite of the direction that I told you to throw that in. That is actually very frustrating. There we go. I wish we had a little more Selene stuff helping us here. What are you doing? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I was running away from Medea, only for Polyphemus to mess with me. Whoa! Yep, there it is.
I don't think so.
Radius on that, big enough to still get me. She says you're dying, sorceress, as we do, in fact. Use the Death Defiance. You're not wrong. Basically just using this as a window to do that. Maybe hit you with the leash. Oh my god! The radius of that is just humongous! Even when I'm on the edge, it's so frustrating. The angle that he can still hit you from there. I mean, that's multiple times now that he has hit us when we've been on the very edge. Okay, see that? It's not where I wanted that to go, of course. Come on. I mean, we just have, as I was kind of saying before, very limited damage. I don't even know what I'm going to use to attack him here, because now I have to wait for him to do that. It's not the best timing. That's the other challenge, is our Hex is sort of a support Hex. That's going to kill us. Or that is. Oh. Okay,
He's contagious.
He's contagious, you say? Oh, yeah, now his attacks have poison. Okay. Hate that. Did he? What? The only thing we can do to deal damage is occasionally throw out a cast. Very surprised that I managed to dodge that. Dodge through this. Where to go? Over there. What? And I couldn't get to the poison cure in time. For what it's worth, I also despise the poison mechanic in Hades 1. So to see it come back here, is not something that I'm happy about. In case it is not abundantly clear, I hate this encounter. Not just because it's difficult, it is, but I do think it builds upon many of the mechanics that feel kind of cheap to me that we were talking about in the previous run down below, that we were able to that's gonna kill us. We were able to still get away with to a certain extent on that occasion, but that is not likely to be the case here. Oh, we made it past Polyphemus. That's something. But it really is looking like that's going to be the only thing we can do here. Because that did not go according to plan. I mean, then again, as we were saying, we really didn't know what to expect. But I really don't like Hades 1 poison effect. You can go back years ago when we were playing Hades 1. Every time it came up, I said it then. So to see it come back here, not a fan. And then one of the slam attacks, like I was saying, area of effect, it's too big. It's too wide of a radius. It makes it too difficult for you to dodge. Even if you are on the edge and in the process of dodging away, we still got hit twice for huge chunks of damage. He had other skills that were able to off-screen us, which, as I was also saying last time, is, I think, by many accounts, a universal no-no, or nearly a universal no-no when it comes to game design. You have to allow the players to see the things that they need to avoid. Yes, there are sound cues. Yes, you can, in some cases, see him start the animation. But even then, when he has an ability that can go the entire length of the arena, that's not cool. That's not cool.
On such particularly fearsome nights, the Witch of Shadows is believed to haunt this awfully putrescent field, whilst conducting her profane experiments upon the dead.
Still feel a little nauseous after that.
So we've certainly said in the past that going down is easier than going up. And I think the game even kind of recognizes this, because I saw, if you look at the fear screen where you select which modifiers you're going to choose, you get a reward for completing a run going up with 6 fear, whereas you get the same sort of reward, or the equivalent of that reward, going down with 8 fear. So the game basically is saying that the surface is, or that the underworld is 2 fear easier than the surface in that way. So comparing Polyphemus to Hecate is maybe not a perfect apples to apples comparison, but it is still the first boss in either direction. And I was fine with the Hecate rival fight. This one is far worse, in my opinion. Hecate 1 is more difficult in ways that feel reasonable, and in ways that are more fitting and predictable for the type of encounter that you have in the normal, standard Hecate fight. This one, I think, deviates too much from the standard fight. So, now, at least we have completed that, and that was the boss we needed for the Nightmare, was it not? I think so. So we did, at the very least, hit that threshold. However, we've had our struggles with Eris in the past. It's a normal Eris at this stage. But we've used multiple Death Defiances, and we are still not even on full health after going to this healing pool. So typically this would be a floor when we would break out either a Moonbeam or a keepsake for one of the gods or goddesses that we want the boons of. And I mean, kind of feels like it's already too little too late. Maybe we go Moonbeam because we do have a Hex that's just not really doing what I want it to do yet. So we cross our fingers that maybe we can change that with a little more Selene support. We can't afford most of the things here. Yeah, we would need a little bit more to be able to get the good stuff. So I think we're passing on that, and then we, in 2 rooms, will get an extra Centaur Heart. So there is that. That'll help a little bit, but a lot of what we've done already with the build is pretty speculative.
Check.
It hasn't yet proved to be fruitful. We were kind of hoping that we'd be able to convert a bunch of magic into health, but that hasn't happened yet. And even if we do manage to do that, how much of a difference does that make? Maybe not enough of a difference. Well, let's see. Because, in general, I think this might be... Well, I think this is a poorly designed floor. Because, talking about skills and enemies that can hit you from off-screen, and rooms that can obscure your vision of those enemies, this is absolutely one of them.
Dig here, gal.
Okay, admittedly, I did not know that Hecuba was a girl. Okay, so we would like to do this so we can realize the benefits of the Moonbeam as quickly as possible. Yeah, so that not only is it that the surface floors tend to be more difficult, I think a lot of it can also come down to some things that just don't feel reasonable, comparatively speaking. Which is the main reason why I don't like the surface. Certainly not as much as the underworld, but I also might just straight up not like the surface, period. As in, I don't enjoy playing Hades 2 at all, like overall, when it comes to runs on the surface. That is certainly the case at times. Not sure if that's the case every time, but it's a pretty pronounced difference for me. Okay, and that's also the health bonus from Hermes, the aforementioned health bonus. Okay, so this is possibly the first time we've ever upgraded this type of Hex, so I don't even know what we're building toward. After using Hex, take 2% less damage this encounter, so I assume this does not stack with multiple uses in the same encounter. Having it last longer could be very useful. That does seem like the kind of thing that we'd benefit from. I'd like to get to this, though. Take less damage, lasts longer, take less damage. Hex makes everything else move 75% slower, and it costs more. It already costs an exorbitant amount to activate this Hex, so I don't love it from that standpoint. But this is, instead of 50%, it's 75%, so it's 50% better. It's a 50% increase relative to the base version, is what I'm assuming. Because obviously it's not a 75% additive increase. The enemies are not going to move negative 25% speed. That would be hilarious. But let's see what we have on these blue ones. Death Defiance effects fully recharge your Hex if it's not ready. I wish that was the other way around. I wish using your Hex fully recharged your Death Defiances. When you use your Hex, most foes' range shots are instantly destroyed. I'm thinking about Eris. That would be kind of nice. What are the other types of things we can get here? Automatic charge up, lasts longer, take less damage, take less damage. Having it charged up 40% is actually a pretty huge deal because it takes so much to activate this one in the first place. So I feel like the 2% damage ones, that's just not enough to make a big difference. Yes, there are enough of them that it's going to turn to 4, maybe minus 6% damage. I guess that's something. I mean, for most hits, that's going to round down to like 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage once we get further along and we're mitigating. Does add up a bit, but it's still a little hard to get excited about that. So I feel like although I do kind of like the duration on this, because it doesn't deal direct damage, which is usually what I'm looking for in a hex. It's mostly to facilitate us dealing damage, so having it last longer or further slowing enemies so we can attack them more safely feels like the best way to capitalize on it, but it still feels like this is just not my type of hex. So let's go here. A little more charge up. So between these two, that should help last a little bit longer. A little bit less damage. I would prefer that it lasts longer. Guess we'll go there. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can certainly go there. Range shots destroyed versus Death Defiance recharges our hex. I mean, that for any other hex, for a hex that does not take a long time to charge up, that feels like that's not a huge deal. The only reason this might make some sense is because it takes so long for the hex to charge up. And obviously, you can only activate this effect at this point 1 time, because we have 1 Death Defiance remaining. So maybe that's the key factor there. So we'll prioritize destroying range shots, get a little more damage reduction. How much is it right now? It's 2%, 4%. We do that, it's 6%, 8%. Guess we'll do that. At that point, or we have it last a half second longer. Yeah, I mean, an incremental 2% damage reduction versus having the hex last for 0.5 more seconds. I think 0.5 more seconds is more valuable. There's the max life we paid for in advance. And now we carry on. See, I was kind of hoping that this hex was going to have some just absolutely incredible ways that you can upgrade it. It's another one of the guys that is pretty ridiculous in how much he can off-screen you. Like that. I mean, that one wasn't off-screen, to be fair. But I did dodge out of the way, and yet he still hit me, which is kind of frustrating, and enough of those things add up. And you say, you know, not my cup of tea. It's also not the enemy I was trying to hit. This does feel like a situation in which Moon Leash, or whatever the pet leash, would be very convenient. I did see that our cast was charged up. Or hex, rather. Okay.
That's settled.
Get a little more magic. Did take a little bit of damage. We get some bones, which, honestly, it's useful in that this run is obviously not going to last that much longer. So just finding some ways to at least take some value back to the crossroads. Get some crafting materials, get some resources we can cash in. I did not mean to do that to myself. We did functionally pin ourselves in a corner. Immediately. I guess it's kind of fitting because it is with a Hestia cast that we did that. A pseudo Hestia cast. Speaking of which, might we actually get the chance to gift to Hestia here? And hopefully remember to do so? I mean, you could certainly make the case we actually need this more for survivability reasons, but let's go for this. Blow that up while we're at it, I suppose. Well, I don't know what that message was that popped up there. gift. That's one other way in which we can still benefit from this run, so that's good.
Dear Goddess Hestia, I hope you will accept this offering. It's a pleasure to have met someone with your warmth, wisdom, and strength.
Even if this turns into a botched run, we at least get something out of it.
Well, look at you, making me offerings. Such hospitality. And while I throw most customs to the flames, the old exchange of gifts is one that I don't mind. So here, something from me.
Okay. We did not have
Hestia.
her keepsake, so there we go. It is now in our possession. As for the boon, let's see. Special. Here's magic restoration. Charge special launches a fireball but uses more magic. It does deal a lot of damage. We still don't really have much in the way of things that benefit from being charged up. Thought we had something that sort of indirectly helped a little bit, or maybe it was just that we've done some hex related things and we have a lot of maximum magic, so in theory it would be kind of nice. Oh, also, I forgot we took this Divine Vengeance. Which may very well have done a lot of damage to Polyphemus, given how much damage we took. Although, I assume this doesn't really hit anything if we get damaged by poison, which obviously was one of the primary damage dealers in that encounter, so don't know that it actually paid off as much as it otherwise would have. I mean, this does seem like it's the best way to restore magic, but again, we kind of just need direct damage at this stage. And we don't have a special boon. So this is not super helpful. Here is a special boon, but it's normal rarity. I think I'm still going to take that. More Hestia.
Needs to be set.
Okay. I think we need it. Because, again, building around the magic is speculative at this stage. That was unfortunate aiming. Saw that spear. You are perhaps the captains of the hitting people from off-screen club. Those spear dudes. Okay, now obviously we don't need to gift.
In the name of Hades.
But we can get this. Same thing we saw before. This must be her standard cast boon. Cast repeatedly inflicts scorch on foes in the binding circle, which is 60 damage per second, so it's a dot. Foes perish in a blast. Damages any surrounding foes. I don't remember seeing this before, but that sounds really good for when you have a good area of effect skill, and it can just turn one kill into numerous kills. That way, I mean, 90 damage isn't enough to get kills in and of itself in most situations, but I think we have to take this, because we're kind of desperate at this point. Speaking of desperate, this could help quite a bit, getting 2 boons in one room. On the other hand, it's going to be more dangerous, and we are still on the weak side. Before we pick a fight,
This time.
just gonna make sure we nab that resource. So we have now numerous boons from Hestia, and I think only 1 from Ares. So by that account, might prioritize going the Hestia route here, and I definitely don't know what Ares does when he gets mad, although it seems like the way in which the gods deal damage in these sorts of rooms in Hades 1 is more... It differs more from one god to the next, whereas in Hades 2, for the most part, it kind of just comes down to there's a circle on the ground, and if you step in it, at some point in time, you're going to get damaged. So, not sure it matters too much from that standpoint.
Well, isn't that sweet?
Okay, let's see. Would have loved for the cast to have been epic rarity, but we don't yet have a special boon, so that would be useful. Deal more damage to foes that are nowhere near other foes. That's kind of interesting. Scorch effects deal damage. That's actually, despite being just normal rarity, that is incredibly powerful, mathematically speaking. It's a 50% damage boost on our cast. Wish it was higher rarity, but this also inflicts Scorch. Could we, if we're feeling greedy, could we nab this and then hope and pray that we get this showing up later, because it ideally a higher rarity when we have even more Scorch to benefit from, and hopefully a higher multiplier. Let's try it.
Bitter wars are sometimes waged for less, really over nothing much at all.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Is this what you want, Ares?
Okay, admittedly... Oh, I was going to say, the circle from our... Oh, dear. The circle from our cast and the circle from Ares. There is a difference. There is absolutely a difference. I wish it was a little more different, though. Also, definitely not the only wave of this encounter. I was immediately running out of that, and I still got hit. That's frustrating that the window is so small for that. That was not enough to kill you. That is also frustrating. That's also frustrating. Just really don't like the surface. It really feels like Hades 2 is two separate games, one of which feels a lot more reasonable than the other, one of which feels a lot more balanced than the other. Because this is making me really frustrated. And there have been times before when I have thought, after going on surface runs, you know what? Maybe Hades 2 just isn't the game for me. And it's been a while since we were last on the surface, but I have to tell you, more often than not, that is the way I've been feeling when it comes to these sorts of runs. And it really is a shame. Some of that might come down to lack of experience, for sure. Some of that might come down to enemies being more difficult, for sure. But that's not... I'm trying to distinguish between those two things. It's between those three things. All those, and the game just being fair. It does not feel fair.
And sometimes I like to benefit the losing side to give them a false hope.
Okay, we have seen this before. Sometimes with much higher rarity, and it has at times been very good. Charge cast also creates a rift blade in the binding circle. That is another way to make our cast even stronger. Chance to gain extra damage based on how much life we have remaining. We've taken a lot of damage. So that's what? Close to little less than 2% chance to deal 200% damage. That's still not an incredibly high number, in large part because that's his common rarity. This will increase our speed. I think we might take this. Not that I've been using charge casts. Okay. I was gonna say, we really needed the next room to be one that was gonna help us. Ideally healing, but this is probably the next best thing. No enemies, so an opportunity to heal a little bit in between rooms, and then we can see what you provide.
Hecuba, go dig. Nicely done.
Oh, and you fetched a tiny bit of healing, which is also something that you can do. Gave us 10 life, which is not a lot, but we need every bit we can get at this point.
You have been a worthy mother to Discura, I can tell. Nurtured her appetite with many souls. I therefore wish to share with you a dream I vividly recall.
Oh?
A dream concerning me and the Staff of Dusk, madam.
Oh?
That seems rather specific, though dreams do get that way at times.
Perhaps a hidden aspect.
In said dream, I saw what first I thought to be a jackal, all surrounded by the dead. The sight of him was marvelous. As words reverberated in my mind, I see you guarding graves of mortals passed into the black beyond.
I see you guarding graves of mortals passed into the black beyond. That sounds like it could be a waking phrase.
Indeed.
So if I speak it to Discura by the silver pool...
Then I foresee she shall reveal to you an aspect of herself. As her former bearer, your connection with me cannot be coincidence. Thus, this knowledge ought to be yours.
Oh, right, because we're using Circe's aspect on the staff right now, and we're speaking to Circe, are we not? I'm pretty sure that's the aspect we have. So, I guess that makes some sense.
I see you guarding
graves
of mortals passed into the black beyond.
Fortunately, that is another relatively big thing that we can still benefit from once we head back to the crossroads, even when this run inevitably crashes and burns. So that is always the sort of the silver lining. The silver lining with any roguelite, like Hades and Hades 2. Whenever, even if you have a bad run, hopefully there's still at least one or two things, and a bunch of many small things, that you can still benefit from even once the run is over. You know, lots of resources we've collected, and now this new hidden aspect revealed, which hopefully we can afford. Of course, who knows what it's going to cost us. But as for what we have here, randomly draw one of your active vows and remove its effect this... Oh! Remove the effect of one of these. Well, 1/3 of our vows we've already put behind us. This one has been a little bit annoying. And then I don't know how much Vow of Debt is going to have time to creep up on us anymore if this run is not long for this world. Randomly draw one of your inactive arcana and upgrade it. Restore... Oh, we have to do this. We absolutely have to do this. This is more or less exactly what we needed. Also, any healing effects are stronger going forward. Okay.
Felt that for sure.
That is very, very useful. Technically means doing that and then getting the healing from this would have been even more beneficial, but hindsight 2020. Okay. I think that might mean even the healing we get, yep, in between rooms is slightly better. Do still need to be careful. Things can go south very quickly, as we have learned many times before, especially on the surface. Alright, that's, hold on. Special does now actually have a boon supporting it. I see you. Okay. Gold, palm. I think we're probably leaning palm here. I know we have limited spending ability, and so because of this guy, so we're not going to be able to do much at the next shop, but I think we're thinking short term we need to get power on our existing boons. We have boons now that at least do benefit more from being upgraded, so that's saying something. Oh my gosh, so many of those guys. Just want to get rid of some of them. There are so many. They just won't go away. That was close. Okay, we did take at least one hit there, but that's better than a lot of other rooms. Okay, oh, remember the charge cast is now very much a thing. Okay, this... Talk about diminishing returns. Yeah. It's a 50% coin flip every time. Each subsequent coin flip, you know, I assume, yeah, as soon as it flips no, it's never going to flip again. So statistically speaking, it's very improbable for that to be a good factor for us. So yeah, I think this is the key. We passed on the boon that gave us scorch damage applying more quickly, right? Because now, obviously, this Scorch effect will become stronger. So we would benefit more from something like that. Okay, and here's the penultimate room. I have to imagine. Yeah.
Steady now.
So, very likely, this is the end of the line. That's the shade we can compel. That's an unusual shape of the shade there. Remember, whatever we buy, we're going to see an extra copy show up from that Hermes boon. But we're not going to be able to afford a second copy of this. We don't need a second copy of this. So it's probably get you... This is actually going to go up in price afterward. But hopefully we can still afford you, and then we're going to be pretty much broke. But we're going to settle for that. And then don't forget this guy. Probably get this guy first.
Let me help you. Be free.
Okay. I'm curious if that's one of the guys who's going to show up back at the crossroads, because he did seem to look a little bit different. So let's do this. Gives us a Charon card as well.
But what are we supposed to do, you know? Well, I just do the same. Give thanks to Lady
Duo boon?
for keeping me forge burning up. She even visits me now and again.
Liking it right now.
Here, my lad. In spite of all the clanging and whatnot, it's peaceful, more or less. And you're not such bad company to keep. Though, why don't we show your cousin what we can cobble up together?
Okay. So what do we have here? Because I don't think we've ever seen this before. If you use your blast effects from Hephaestus just after they recharge, they fire 2 times. And given how our blast effects are coming from our dash and only our dash, I mean, the dash is something you're not usually thinking about very much from an offensive standpoint. And we have a 1-second window in which to do it. I mean, we're going to take it. We're definitely going to take it. Not necessarily sure how much use we can make of it, and as I was saying, we anticipated this was going to happen. We were guaranteed to get another one of these, and we knew we were unlikely to be able to afford it. But we should take this, because now we are at max life, and at least maximize our chances against Eris, even if we have had serious trouble against her in the past, and this build certainly does not feel like the one to get it done cleanly this time round, but who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Looky who! I can't believe Ares is helping you, not me. I kept trying to get through to him, figured he'd hear me out, but it's too stormy on Olympus. Say, would you know...
The way her facial expression looks right here. But yeah, that's understandable that Strife Incarnate would be interested in the favor of the God of War. There's a fair bit of overlap there. Actually, don't remember. Oh, Nyx is Eris's mother, right? Because I remember Eris is sisters with Nemesis. So I was thinking, well, Eris's role is so similar to that of Ares that is Eris Ares' daughter? I don't think so.
You want me to ask the God of War to lend you his aid, to make my efforts to support him and his family in their near-hopeless battle against Typhon even more difficult?
Right, that makes perfect sense.
Quit with the sarcasm, Trouble. All I did was ask you for a favor once, but you had to go and make an insult out of it. Fine. I can get the God of War's attention on my own.
I mean, you probably will, because you're probably about to absolutely annihilate us. Because that's what you tend to do. That's kind of your specialty. Obviously, her damage gets a lot bigger as time goes on. Now I'm trying to be mindful of using the dash more aggressively. I think a lot of what causes trouble with her... Oh, also we can do this. Okay, definitely helps. Her voice is lower when time is slowing down. That's fitting. I saw that coming. She has lots of skills that can hit you multiple times if you're in the wrong position. And then obviously, she gains a bunch of damage as time goes on. She does, however, stand still for long periods of time during some of those attacks, and then runs away during others, like this. Her range is deceptively big. As we've said many times before, that's another reason why this encounter does not feel especially fair, just to go on that theme again. The timing to dodge some of her skills is very odd, like that one. We do have the Hex back, which I'm going to use here. That was unfortunate timing, though. Kinda seems. Sort of. Woo! It does seem like the Scorch is really working it well for us, though. But of course, this is not the big part. The big part is when she gets her ridiculous damage upgrades, which she's continuing to do here. Whoa! Where'd she go? There she went. No. And that does make it a lot easier to dodge that move, thankfully. Oh, but this is the one that I always fail miserably at dodging. I think that it may be that you actually do want to be right up close to her. Rather than dodging based on iframes or being far away, you need to basically go to the other side of her. Where'd she go? Oh, she's summoning friends. That's where she went. Where is she? She's here? No, she's not. Now she's there. Okay, now this is the big one. Really nasty one. Oh, that's not where I wanted to drop that. Oh, okay. Actually, one of our cleanest arrow skills ever. Oddly enough.
Much better.
So that one was much better. We're on max life? How often does that happen? I mean, we already blew through a bunch of Death Defiances. So I guess you could kind of look at it big picture as, okay, we made it past Eris, which is saying something. We made it past Eris with full health and 1 Death Defiance. If you told me that at the beginning of the run, maybe that would be roughly up to what I would have expected.
Onward, Hecuba.
Just, the Death Defiances didn't necessarily get used where I expected them to get used, which was a little off-putting. So we're still in rough shape, but a strong Eris performance does help our attempts here to redeem the run a bit. So Everlasting Ember, that's basically a standard boon-giving god or goddess keepsake. This time, though, from Hestia, and obviously we did not yet have that, so that is nice. There's only 2 keepsakes left, and I think it is probably Echo here, and I think this one over here is Dionysus. So theoretically, Dionysus is on this floor. If we can come across him and gift him a nectar, we do have some, then that would be ideal. But we should switch.
Try another one, maybe.
We don't need the Moonbeam anymore. I mean, we'd rather not have to break out the Luckier Tooth right now, but in the past, we'd started using Narcissus's keepsake on the 3rd floor to help rarefy boons, and improving the healing effects could be useful on this occasion. We actually did get future healing effects boosted from that Circe pickup. Just thinking, if we want any chance of succeeding against Prometheus, we're basically going to need to go in with full health, I think. And ideally, all of our Death Defiances as well. So this does sort of help us in that regard. Luckier Tooth would potentially help us on this floor, although under ideal circumstances we would save this for Typhon on the final floor. So maybe this is optimistic.
All right.
But we're going to try with the aromatic phial. I don't even know how you say that word, to be honest with you. Vial? Spelled with a V is usually how I would think, but I think that would go. Receive 1 choice of 3 boons from Hermes. We can't afford it. Out of curiosity, any gold urns we can break here? Doesn't really look like it. Because Path of Stars... Receive your choice of at least 3 or more linked upgrades. So 3 boost points. That's a standard Path of Stars. Oh, our first purchase on the floor is cheaper than usual. Yeah, because this looks surprisingly low. So... do we take this now? Because we anticipate that we may not make it to the next full-blown shop, so we don't need to worry about saving. If do we pick this up? Because it delivers in 5 encounters, and by then we may have taken damage, and we want to make sure we're on full health going into this boss fight. I think we take this. Does mean it's going to be very difficult to do anything at the next shop, but we shall see. Okay, I'm gonna let them fight a bit, because they are beating each other up, and we very much do need to play this safe and slow. Might have just gotten their attention, though. I poked my head over there. Oh. Chaos? Sorry, we got super aggressive with Chaos on the previous run. I think we did 3 in one run. But this run, given our lack of Death Defiances, is probably not the run to take those same sorts of risks on. Especially not on this floor when it's already pretty difficult, and especially when we would have to pass up on a hammer upgrade that may very well be better than the Chaos Boon. Please don't throw that at me.
You'll burn.
Oh, you're still alive. Except, hold on. I didn't see if any of the other guys also transformed. I hope they did not. This guy might have respawned. I'm not sure why that's freezing you, or practically freezing you. Because you had armor. Which means you were theoretically resistant to that. I was gonna say, I was not expecting... yeah, I was not expecting that to be the final enemy of this room. Probably will invoke that statue, just because... Light. Oh, there's multiple of them? Okay, let's do it. Ooh. Not sure if there's going to be a wave after this. Oh, I saw that guy respawn. I wasn't fast enough to get there. Oh, no. Not what I wanted to see. We had not seen him on our... at least... Oh, my God. On, I think, 2 previous runs. Who is left? Okay. So we lucked out a little bit in that regard, I think, with our previous runs. I wonder if he showed up right when the last wave spawned in. So we took a long time to finish the encounter, so I was wondering if it's basically just a timer. Oh, after 30 seconds, regardless of what room you're on, what wave you're on, you know, that's when he's going to appear, or if it was based on the wave of enemies. Okay, let's see. Special bounces, we've seen this. Charge special, gains power shot, deals damage, extra damage, and restores magic if you hit it, but you do have to time it. Special fires 2 projectiles, but they have less range. We haven't taken this before. We do technically have some range on our cast, because we have it activate at the binding circle. So we aren't quite as reliant on our special for range. But I was just noticing in this room that it was kind of nice to have our range on the special, so I'm a little hesitant to go with this. I think we have to play it safe here. I'm going to go with this one. I know it wasn't dramatic when we took it somewhat recently, but it was still kind of nice. And you could make a case for either of these, to be honest. I think I will still go Hermes, because this is better in a vacuum, but given how we are not doing so well defensively, the life is of interest. Okay, I'm gonna, again, let you guys do your thing. It's actually, no, actually you're not damaging each other. You're just hitting that statue because you don't like the gods and goddesses.
Come.
Nope, don't do that. Don't do that either. I honestly did not even remember that you had that attack. I was just preparing for the big fire breath attack. We did take... I mean, at this point, every hit is big. So it was one hit, but it was a big one.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Oh, did we... We passed on this before. We did see it. Again, it kind of mitigates the effect of things costing more gold. But the earlier you get it, the better. And at this point, it's pretty late. Channel your charge casts, and your casts expire faster. Actually, might be kind of good. We technically do have a charge cast specific boon that I have not used very much, if at all. At least not consciously, because just going the simple range safe approach and charging stuff up does make us susceptible to getting hit more. I mean, this also is... But the cast speed is much better here. This affects everything, though. The casts expiring more quickly, that was something I was talking about before. Since we get our familiar also dropping our cast, and it is, well, our cast deals a dot. Right? So duration actually does matter. If it were an upfront damage cast, that could be amazing with this setup, but I think because it's a dot-based cast, we want to keep it that way. We want to keep it with the standard duration. Otherwise, we lose most of that damage. Okay, we're going to go here, I think, because again, we've already taken a lot of max magic. Okay, you guys are fighting each other on this occasion, so I am going to let you do that until you actually start paying attention. Okay, this is obviously not the last wave. See, this is the nice part about having range on the special. It is probably, generally speaking, the safest way for us to attack enemies. This. Pick you up. Please don't snipe me. Don't snipe me, bro. One of those dudes is so close to being dead. There we go. Okay, this might still not be the last wave.
Okay.
It was. Does help, and now at least if we do find ourselves at a shop, it's possible for us to do something. Here's a mini shop with delayed rewards. Mini boss that we are definitely avoiding. And that coin room, which means that would definitely be where we would go next. We could. Especially given how we're expecting to get some gold back. Not enough to completely negate the amount that we're spending here, but I think we still go for it. Anything else? No. These guys are very nasty. Glad we managed to get rid of that one, at least, early on. Yeah, something about... Well, I can tell you exactly what it is. The way that the scorch damage makes the way that the enemy's life bars look different. It makes it very hard to tell when enemies are actually going to go down and when they are not. There have been many, many times when it looks like the enemies are already dead or about to die to a scorch dot, and then it turns out I actually do need to hit them one more time. Hasn't come back to bite us much yet, but it could. Okay, and I had to run over here to get these, and that is why I had to take that hit. And I did not see exactly how much damage it was for. Maybe playing it patiently was better after all. I'm not sure. Oh! Okay. That's good. At first I thought that was our not-so-friendly eagle. But no, this is Athena. We very much do like to see on this occasion. However, we have pinned ourselves in the corner. Oh. She knocks us back as well. Oh, there's a lot more enemies. Okay. I was gonna say, she spawned in very late to the point where she was not gonna be able to help us out all that much. There are a ton of enemies here, though. Let's do this. Okay.
What's new?
Oh. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what? That wasn't Athena. What are you doing on this floor? This is our first time ever seeing you here. What gives? Also, I liked how the music also got lower when we used the slowdown time effect.
Fancy meeting you up here.
Yeah.
I used to never fly anywhere near this place, but noticed somewhat fewer harpies and automaton defenses. And, well, you. Going all right so far?
He's flying too close to the sun.
Going better than before now, thanks to you. So what do you think? Does the Mountain of the Gods live up to everything you imagined?
Mostly, yes. Considering mortals, living or otherwise, were never meant to see Olympus in all its glory. And I'd rather see you anyway, Nelly. Here. Something for the rest of your climb.
Oh, what a friend.
These should work.
Okay, let's see. Gain 80 armor. Next time you lose all your armor, become impervious for 8 seconds. I mean, if that can last long enough to get us into the Prometheus fight, that could be really helpful. Charge moves also deal 50 damage in an area around the foes they hit, but use more magic. Cast also blasts area after 4 seconds, dealing a big chunk of damage, but also damages us if we're in there. We are looking for big cast blasts, but we've deliberately avoided this in the past because of that potential for backfire. That may still be the case here, and if we had gone with the super quick casts from Hermes, I feel like that would have made this extremely strong. But as long as you have a cast that goes at the binding circle, not on yourself. Then it explodes far away, safely, and you can do it again very quickly. Whereas if it explodes right on top of you really quickly, yeah, no, that's not so great. So I think we might need to do this one. To be honest, I don't love any of these options. At least the timing of them is a little unfortunate.
Let me know how it goes.
Thanks.
We'll take that, and that was in addition to a gold bonus, I think, as well. Oh. No, not this time. Not this time. Not on this floor, not on this run, I'm afraid. And also not gonna go with that one. Straightforward, non-mini-boss, please. Might have actually been better going for the other one, because he did not have armor. It's going to be easier to take him out altogether. Also, he was next to that shrine, which I am tempted to click on. I'm assuming this is not the last wave. It is not.
Lord Zeus.
Thank you, Zeus. That didn't really hit anything. I swear there was an enemy there at one point. Please stop cornering me. Oh, we can do this. Sure. Let's try to get you down into a non-armored state. We can more safely engage and ideally not get cornered like that again. Oh, there are a lot more enemies left. Like a lot more. Like a whole lot more. That's also not really where I wanted that to be. I guess it does set us up at least for the leash damage. And depending on where Hecuba is, Hecuba might be better positioned for a good cast. Oh, that's another way in which the explosive cast from Icarus could really pop off. So we were close to actually having the ideal setup for Icarus, but not quite the case here. Okay, so didn't we... Path of Stars, yeah, we purchased the Path of Stars, because I saw this and I was like, we didn't get the Path of Stars that we ordered a while back, did we? So that will become available after this next encounter. Then after that, we're going to get a Centaur Heart. So, looks a little familiar. I don't know when it comes to the hex how much more we really need. We might benefit more from this, to be honest. I'm not sure. Guess we'll try this. It just felt like there were a lot of things. Oh, we are not dropping in for damage. We are walking straight in. But these guys are still attacking each other. So yeah, I remembered that it seemed like the Hex just didn't have abilities that were as upgradable as I would have liked. Can I attack you from the other side of it? No, I cannot. Well, not with our special, at least. But I can, sort of, with our cast. She's nice. Definitely not the last wave. Breaking these out. Breaking this out to deal with the dragons. Sort of. At least partially. These are other enemies that are very big on the whole off-screening you. Because they can go the entire length of the arena with their attack, and it can change directions mid-attack. Deceptively. It is very hard to avoid them altogether. I'm surprised that we did on that occasion. Okay, at least one's down. Oh dear. That's not what I wanted to see. That's definitely not what I wanted to see. It's another instance of it looked like we had done enough damage to take out that dragon dude, but apparently we hadn't. Okay. Oh, there's still one more over here. I guess you moved. There's still more. Oh no, it's this. Alright, so here's our double Selene, which, as I was kind of getting at, might prove to be overkill.
The path you face.
We're gonna have 6 that we can pick up total. Okay, I mean, it is possible to spend 6. Part of me was wondering if that was gonna be an issue. Oh, wait, or is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think we might be purchasing everything, by the looks of things. Oh, that's another reason to use our Hex early. We are now getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore. No, hopefully not. But where we have enough damage reduction after using the Hex that it does make sense for us to try to use it early on in the encounter. Wait, do we already have it starting 40% charged? We do. So now it's starting 80% charged.
The limits of my light.
So that helps a lot. And that's not the limit of your light, because you have a little more still over here. And yeah, there are only 3 points left. So Hex lasts a little bit longer, take even less damage, and it lasts even longer still. So that means it lasts for 6.5 seconds total, I think, because it started off with a 4-second base. We take 10% less damage after we use it for the rest of the encounter, so that's enough that it's still not dramatic, but it does help. And then we start it with it 80% charged, and it does have some automatic generation from Arcana cards, so it does make sense for us to break it out more or less as soon as we can. Ooh. Oh, we have been looking for you. Okay, yes, that is quite useful. And it's interesting, we have armor. We actually haven't taken any damage to our armor. Oh, hold on. We haven't taken any damage to our armor. However, we still are not at full health. But, I forget, do we heal here? Oh, we can fish. Let's nab something from you. I don't remember what exactly you can give us from your boons, but we should gift, because you are one of the few people we have left who we have not yet received a keepsake from. So this is big.
Don't wish to be just some ungrateful guest. I know you have your customs here, and I have studied them. So please, for all your cheer and generosity.
Whoa, this is nectar. It's the real thing. We could use every drop that we can get. Then here is something for my most distinguished guests, of which I have decided you are one.
Why, thank you.
I'm most grateful, and wish I could stay for the festivities.
I am curious what his keepsake is going to do, because he's not a standard boon-giving god or goddess. He's a little bit different.
Have you any idea why this mountain has been shaking ceaselessly? Doubtless to the occasional dismay of your honored guests.
Yes, I do. Sometimes the feasting gets a little rowdy, if you know what I mean, with all the dancing and whatnot. Uncle Poseidon's not the only Earthshaker on Olympus.
That's not really what we were referring to.
No, Typhon has awakened. The father of all monsters now threatens your own father's palace. You can ignore Kronos somehow, fine. Prometheus, perhaps. But not this.
Oh no, Typhon's out there, come to ruin everything. Whatever we do. See that, baby? Nobody cares. Whatever happens, happens. And we're gonna feast until it does, no matter what. Nice try with that one, though.
Okay, then. Let's see. Give up all of our gold now. After vanquishing the next Guardian, you gain that much more. Bonus gold earned soon, plus 300. That's not really going to help us much. We don't have a lot to begin with. Every 8 seconds in each encounter, Festive Fog appears, making you stronger while in it by 30%, or this is the highest rarity option. We do have some rerolls available, so if we want to, we could break some of those out here. In each encounter, grape juice appears in the area that grants power when used. Reappearance time every 8 seconds. I remember seeing this before. Gives your very next move plus 100 power, then later reappears in a random spot. So, does give us some offensive power. I assume the rarity here affects the reappearance time, because it looks like that grape juice effect is fixed at plus 100 power. So we have taken this before, and as is often the case with things like this that drop random rewards in the arena, you have to be careful, because it's tempting to pick them up as soon as they appear, but if you do, you might find yourself running into an attack and taking damage that you probably didn't need to take. So I'm a little bit wary of that, and a little tempted to use a reroll here, because I mean, I'm also not sure if we're going to get a chance to use any additional rerolls, given how we're getting pretty far along in the run. And getting a higher rarity Festive Fog might be worth going for. Gain a random amount of max life, but how much you have becomes a mystery. Oh dear. Plus 70 to plus 100. I mean, we are low, we're doing a little bit better on life now, but we've blown through a bunch of Death Defiances. This could be useful. Your charge moves inflict hangover the first time they strike foes, which makes the foe take damage continuously for 4 seconds. That's a lot of damage. Turns us into even more of a damage over time build. Which I feel like if we can make it to Typhon, that is pretty good, because Typhon is pretty darn stationary. Less so with everyone leading up to Typhon, though, and let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. So, I think these are the safer options. The more straightforward options, at the very least. Let's go! I feel like worry-free is not going to make me worry-free. It's just going to make me more nervous about how much life we actually have. So, I mean, we could do the math and figure out sort of how much life we have, but it just goes mystery, mystery, mystery afterwards. So, figuring out how much damage we've taken and how much we have left, yeah, that's not going to happen. Let's do the Festive Fog.
Good choice.
And then let us fish. I also like the dancing satyr in the back there.
Oh, that's our pool.
You have a fish in your pool.
Got a bite.
There we go.
Looks like a pillar top.
Hey, nice catch.
Thanks, man.
Happy feasting, my lord.
What was that?
Okay, little bit of gold there. Those guys are dancing too. Okay. Just double checking for any other goodies. Doesn't seem like we have any. 500 gold is actually, it's not atrocious at this stage. We can get a nectar or we can get ashes, neither of which is super helpful. This does give us a tiny bit of life, so there's maybe something to be said for that, and we actually do have a somewhat decent amount of nectar / have used nectar now on just about all of the people that we wanted to use it. Yeah, we still have 3. Okay, so I think we're gonna get greedy and just go for this run. Take this room. These guys are all almost down. Perhaps because they are eating all of those projectiles. One moment. There's definitely gonna be more. Yeah, these guys are nasty. As we've said many times before. Do this. Gives us the damage reduction as well. Let's do this because it hits more people. Break this back out. Okay, at least one of you is... What?! I was actively sprinting away, and it still hit me. That is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There is no way that is a reasonable thing for a skill to do. I was in the process of sprinting away already, and it hit me, nonetheless. That is insane. I think we might have gotten hit by one of those as well. Yup. That did not go where I wanted it to go. Did see that. Let's do this. Because we can. Let's pick you up. Because we can. Okay.
Straightforward.
Get the little bit of max life from that, and the max life from this. We did blow through a lot of our armor there, which is unfortunate because that was sort of serving as making up for our somewhat lack of health. Now that's a little bit better on that front. But the big thing is that once we lose the armor, we're going to get invulnerability for a few seconds, and we wanted that to last going into the Prometheus fight. And it looks like this is now the penultimate room, which means there are no more enemies until the Prometheus fight, so we at least succeeded on that front. I think that is saying something, since things were not looking good at that point. Anything else here? No? Okay. So let's head over. Although we have what looks to be a decent bit of gold,
Observe.
There.
we still can't do that much with it
Get it, Hecula.
when things cost more money than usual.
Appreciate the help.
Okay, but we get some more resources. That's good, because this very well, at this rate, could end up being our final...
Golly, is that you?
Wait, what? Oh! Our final room? That's a new familiar, perhaps, or at least the start of earning the favor of a new familiar. Are you a... Barret?
What are you doing all the way up here? Good luck with your mission.
Okay. Well, that's an encouraging sign that we may still be able to get one more familiar if we continue going up. I assume that means we would fully unlock that familiar on this floor in the future, as we've seen with most of the other familiars. And I think that is... There was one familiar that was added recently with the big update, not the patch that just came out a few weeks ago by the time you're seeing this, but the update from a little bit before that. So that is good to see for sure. It's a little bit overkill to purchase this. Let's buy you, and then another boon is going to show up. It's going to be a little more expensive in all likelihood.
Hear me on my authority.
Let's see what we're working with here. Rand Caldera, your blast effects from Hephaestus deal more damage and are 50% larger. That's a lot more blast damage. Wow. That more than doubles our blast damage and makes them larger. Okay, so that's very tempting. This is something we were eyeing before, though. That's what we were planning on. We were saying with 200 that we have exactly the same amount of life and magic. So this is worth over 50 life versus potentially significant damage on the dash, which, remember, does synergize with this. It would have been nice if we had more Hephaestus blast effects for this to work with. With it just being the dash, it's tough. Fires 2 times. Potentially. offense, defense. Sometimes a good offense is the best defense. I think we might still take this. No, we'll do this. Especially because there is also this here, which we could just barely afford if we did Ares plus U. And I think we have to spend every last penny right now because, as I was saying, this next encounter is, by many accounts, likely to be our last one.
In the name of Hades.
Another duo boon. Your fireball effects from Hestia inflict wounds with even greater power. Fireball wounds bonus power plus 250. Now we have a lot of Hestia effects. Remind me exactly what wounds do, though. Where is our, one... Oh, we have 2 Ares boons, I think. Rift damage from casts at the Binding Circle, which admittedly I did forget about. Where is... I mean, obviously I have to have moused over it at some point here, but I'm not sure what it looks like, the thing that I'm trying to track down. Not that. Not that. It's not that. Oh, here. It's our attack. Your strike has plus 50 more power when inflicting this. Okay, so it's usually plus 50 power. You're saying fireball effects from Hestia also inflict wounds, which usually would not happen at all. But now that means we're getting a flat 250 damage on our special and on our cast. That's huge. That's fantastic.
Scent of blood.
Okay, and now if we do this, we haven't really been doing much of anything when it comes to the spending magic. However, this does translate to a little bit of extra max health. This is overkill on the heal, but is this actually... Short term, this is actually better than this by many accounts. Long term, if we do make it past this fight, then this would be potentially slightly better. This would technically influence how much health we get back from our 1 remaining Death Defiance, I think. So maybe by that account, this is better regardless. Alright, so let's double check. We did get significantly stronger from this room, so that helps a lot. But remember, one of the big things we have here is... Where was it? It's another one that I don't know what it looks like. Not you. Not you. Not that. It is... Where that? The one... Oh, it might be here. This is why I can't find it. So, when we lose all of our armor, which is going to happen after 1, maybe 2 hits, we will become impervious for 8 seconds. And during that time period, we would like to go absolutely crazy, spamming any and every form of damage we can get, which now, especially with a stronger cast and now stronger special... Yeah, I think that's the plan. Throw down the cast and then wail away with the special, which is now definitely going to do more damage than the attack, since it is also getting the benefit from the wounds, in addition to everything else from Hestia. So here we go. Didn't think we were going to make it this far.
Resist all you like, yet the age of gods shall end. Time shall see to it. And thereafter a golden age of enlightenment shall begin, in which you gods hold far less sway.
Huh. Okay, wait, that's interesting. So this could, as I said many times, this is likely to be our final encounter. We'll see if we can make it past Prometheus. If so, that'd be fantastic. But you're saying you want to bring an end to the Age of Gods, which is kind of understandable, given how Prometheus himself is a Titan, and his whole thing is that he's a big fan of the humans. So he's pro-Titan, pro-human, anti-God. That checks out.
If I somehow gave you the impression that I'm interested in your doomsaying and false prophecies, I assure you I'm not.
Oof. Ouch.
Your disregard is the very reason you're no longer fit to rule. I know you'll never relinquish this mountain. Fall with it, then.
All right. Oh, wasted basically all of our resistances right off the bat. We can do this early, which we do want to use. For sure. He is very frozen. Remember, we are stronger if we're in that festive fog as well. Okay. Try to set that up in the corner if possible. Ooh, forgot about that ranged component. He dodged it? Not used to seeing that. Ooh, that was close. Do you hear? Ooh, that was close too. Hey there, dude. It is nice when he stands in our cast circles. It's not a great place for that to go. He's theoretically close to phasing. There we go. Okay.
Visions of flame.
Middle. Middle. Not middle. 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 Not middle. Okay, so at least made it through that phase. That was also not a great place for that to land. Quite have time to get into the corner I was going for. He's about to do something as well. Wasn't quite sure what it was. Oh, he's doing something there. Oh, okay, I don't like your friends. I definitely don't like your friends. And by that I mean I absolutely despise your friends. Try to get this in the corner. Oh, you ran away. I'm not gonna lie, I thought when he said Blasted Beast, he was gonna summon his eagle. I was like, no, that's your friend. Don't insult your own friend. Oh, we resisted that? Okay, so we would have gotten hit. That's unfortunate. If I'd done that marginally faster, would have been much better. It was witchery. On that occasion, you are not wrong. That's not where I meant to put that. I went in one direction and then started going in the other. Okay, there's the break. There's the... No! It's the worst possible timing. Okay, middle. Not middle. Middle. Not middle. Or top. Middle. Not middle. What? I was wrong. Top, right? Okay. Oh, and I forgot about that last one. Okay, that was pretty lucky for all the other ones. Yeah, the armor break timing was very unfortunate. It did last into this fight, but it activated at a time when the imperviousness did not matter. Oh, and he brought more friends as well. Which, once again, it's not particularly welcome, although they do seem to just go away fairly quickly. Which I do appreciate. Put you in the corner. Oh, you still managed to get big enough AoE for that to hit me. I'm surprised. Okay, he's moving in for an attack as well. There we go. We got him. No Death Defiance is used. Wow.
If you could see what I've foreseen, you'd not believe it anyhow.
Oh. Do tell.
I am surpassed, but never beaten.
Did he know he'd lose?
Great question. Okay, so definitely did not think we were going to make it past this encounter. So this, from here on out, is a bonus. And of course, the final floor is extremely difficult. So definitely not expecting us to defeat or get to Typhon, let alone defeat him.
Not even the intense heat rising from the mountain's central hearth can entirely dispel the chill here in the air. A gathering storm, not wrought by gods, but something else.
Indeed.
Something friendly?
No, we know that is not the case, although you did say Hearth, and we do have a lot of Hearth stuff going on, because Hestia is helping us quite a bit at this stage. Now, we do have a keepsake that is going to improve our healing here, and also upgrade one of our boons, theoretically a normal rarity boon, and I don't even know if we have any normal rarity boons. That one. That might be our only one. Yes. And, it's not especially useful at this stage, especially when we have no money. Now we break out the Luckier Tooth. I'm curious how close this is to ranking up. It's kind of close. And also, out of curiosity, how good is that boon that just got upgraded now? This one, I think? Nope. It is also Hermes. It's this one. First purchase discount is now 20% less. I don't remember what that number was before. Might have been as low as 10. Alright, this.
Look upon me.
There are a lot of these. I am surprised we seem to get that. Okay, obviously... Oh. That would be huge if we could afford it. Getting a Death Defiance back. It's technically possible that we could see that at a future mini shop, but as we see here, it would probably need to wait a few encounters before it would get delivered, so it's unlikely, very unlikely we'd be able to afford it. And we don't have the option to sell any boons. If we did, that might have given us just enough to purchase that, but I'm afraid that's not the case here, so in that case, we're going up to the final floor, 2 Death Defiances, one of the normal variety, one of which is from the Keepsake. So I think the normal Death Defiance gives us a little more life than the other one does. And we have gotten a lot stronger, don't get me wrong, but the problem is there are at least 2 difficult encounters, very difficult encounters, before we even get to Typhon. It's great that we got here, because it really didn't look like we were going to be able to. But, keep on saying it. This is probably the end of the line, or at least very close to it. More likely the first of the mini-bosses that is not really even a mini-boss, what with how strong it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see another one there. And there's Typhon's Tail, I think is technically the name of that enemy. There's a fishing spot there as well, for what it's worth. Ooh, come back here. We have at times seen Typhon's Tail still hits even after the encounter is over, which is why I'm still running. Okay.
Here, little fish.
Ooh, quick one.
It's a lamprey.
Okay. We at least got a little bit of resources even up here, although typically would prefer stuff that doesn't just give us the bones, but actually gives us unique crafting resources that are only available on this floor. Unlike bones, which you can get anywhere. Oh.
Alright.
We did take a little bit of damage, but that was still a lot quicker than I expected. Mini-boss either way. Oh, right. No, this is guaranteed. This is the first of those dangerous mini-bosses. Super Palms or high rarity Zeus. Do we have any Zeus precedent? We do from our revenge damage. Is that it? That might be it. So I feel like we don't have a lot of Zeus potential, whereas what with the Hestia... What with all the duo boon stuff? Oh, you know what we would really benefit from would be if we could get a super palm upgrade on the dash boon, because that would make it a lot easier to facilitate this. We're getting tons of value out of this. Not that much value out of this. This is kind of hard to activate. So, of course, it's not guaranteed that we're going to see this pop up, but if it doesn't, then we can go for something like, you know, the cast or something that does more direct damage. So I think we still prefer this.
Closer to the top.
This is going to be very difficult. This is not what I expected, though. Have we seen this before? Twins of Typhon? I don't know if we have. I don't know if I even knew it was possible for us to get different encounter here. Okay, we need to break this out immediately, of course. So the earlier we do it, the better. But we've never seen this encounter before, so I don't know what we're doing here. I have no idea what their skills are, or how much damage they do, or anything like that. Obviously, there's a lot of effects popping around here. So that's the first thing I'm noticing. But the screen is pretty busy, so I can't say I can focus all that much on it. The key is to actually hit them with this, because they are very mobile. I walked straight into that. And that, to a certain extent. I don't know what happens if they have like individual health bars. I also lost track of where it was, to be honest with you. Do they have individual health bars? And if so, does that mean we can potentially take out one of them before the other if we were to focus on one more than the other? And does it get easier in that case, or does the other one enrage? Because I could see that being a thing. I also don't know if these guys go down permanently, the little dudes. It seems like there are fewer of them than there were at the beginning. I'm not sure these guys have individual health bars unless we've truly split the damage almost perfectly, 50-50 between them. It seems like they're just going to go down simultaneously regardless. Because the Skilla fight, obviously, the enemies do have individual... Oh, I got distracted by the hex. I was going to dodge out of the way, and then I hexed instead. Okay, but there we go. We did defeat them for the first time ever. And that's also definitely saying something. And now we can get a resource that is truly unique to this floor. So that's good. Because that's very hard to come by. And you were looking for the dash. Ideally the dash. And we do get it. Because it goes all the way down to 4-second cooldown. Yes, the special would be nice as well. But this just makes it so much easier for us to get the duo effect going off on you, even without needing to focus deliberately on it. It can be more of an afterthought. But obviously we've taken a lot of damage, and I'm not sure there are going to be very many opportunities to heal before Typhon.
Pyre.
Oh no. Oh my gosh! It just never ends. I don't even know who I'm attacking here. Because that guy's hiding underground, and I don't know if I can hit him. I don't think I could. Okay, technically you were hanging out within the cast, just barely, which was ideal. So you could just continue to hang out right there. No, stop moving. Despite covering up almost half the arena with our cast, there we go. Okay, now your armor's down, so this becomes much easier. Theoretically. You're still so fast that even stun locking you is not necessarily safe enough. Okay. Continue moving in case Typhon Tail. No, of course Typhon Tail is the next mini-boss. Anything in this room? Not there? No. Okay. Whew. Oh, there are more guys in this room than I realized. There are more guys in this room than I realized. Please go down. There's one down. See those projectiles incoming. Nope. Whatever you're doing, don't do it. Okay. You were just standing there the entire time. You chose not to move. Okay, we don't have enough to do that. Here is Typhon's tail for reals. And we have learned some things about how best to fight it, but it is still very difficult, and there was one... Congratulations, Lids. Found a new way to take damage on this floor. Even when all the enemies are dead. Lovely. For all we know, that's gonna be the difference maker. Who knows? 2020 hindsight. Okay. So yeah, there's at least one slam encounter that we have figured out how best to treat, where there's a circle that emanates starting from where the tail lands, and then another one that starts out big and wide and then closes in on you. And if you dodge both of those circles, then you have a relatively large window of time to attack Typhon's tail. But I remember Typhon's tail, for what it's worth, is the last enemy to have defeated us from several runs ago. But that remains the case because we obviously didn't die in all of our runs going down as of late. So the last death we've had is to Typhon's tail, not from that circular slam, but actually from when it goes to the far right side of the arena and then shoots this big, powerful wave that I thought you were supposed to dodge by just timing it with iframes. And we were close to the tail when it hit us. But before we attempted that, we had typically gone all the way to the far side of the arena on the left end, and it's hard to time the dodge from there. I think the blast does still hit you even in that corner, but I don't know. I'm not really clear on what the... Oh, this is different. This is not the same. Eye of Typhon, not the tail. Okay, well, I have no idea what this means. Oh. Okay, the eye is the thing that's circling around here. It's not just that thing there, or maybe it is. There's a lot of stuff circling around here. Like, are we supposed to hit this? Or are we supposed to hit the big sphere? It seems to be an eyeball. Also, I could not find where my character was for that entire duration. And we've taken a lot of damage during that period. It was going fine until then. Okay, you create multiple of these guys. And that first one seemed to have healed. So that all leads me to believe we're focusing on this. That is what we want to focus on. The other stuff, mostly a distraction. Stay away. So yeah, basically just trying to stand right on top of them whenever I can and use the cast there. Try to maximize the day. I guess technically we don't need to do that. Unless Hecuba cooperates, that's not going to make a difference. I would need Hecuba to actually be standing right next to it as well. Okay, I don't want to do that, it turns out. We were probably going to use a Death Defiance here in case that wasn't clear, because we have 9 health. Oh dear. Oh dear. Resisted? That's illegal. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. No. Oh no! Right as the Hex comes back as well. We were getting close. Felt like we stood a decent chance finishing him off here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Very close to not needing that Death Defiance. That is unfortunate. But that's 2 of these mini-bosses that we've now taken out for the first time.
This is all one
Upon seeing them for the first time, and not knowing what the encounter was all about. So that is a challenge. And we did pass the test. It did leave some scars.
in the name of Hades.
Oh, well, you have at least 8 earth boons. Any damage, any of your damaging effects from Olympians are 50% stronger. That is really good, but we don't have enough. We have a bunch of fire. We do not have a bunch of earth, or at least not enough. Chance to gain 200% damage based on how much health we've lost. Yeah, this was also our weaker... was it our weaker Death Defiance? We do still have 1 remaining. I mean, so this obviously can potentially activate and give us a bunch of extra damage. Whenever foes with wounds take damage, they may spill plasma. Could be good for a really long encounter like the upcoming Typhon fight. So, it's a little more inconsistent. Well, both of these are pretty inconsistent. This is a set percentage chance, whereas this... Well, they both are. Okay. This is pure damage, this is speed. Do we have a preference there? Oh, this one, I guess, does vary over time, depending on how much damage we've taken, whereas this one does not. I feel like we might want this. Both, obviously, would be great. And this is going to be the penultimate room. So, that was our last enemy before Typhon. All the more reason why, yeah, saving that Death Defiance would have been nice, but...
The enemies of all-seeing Typhon cannot possibly escape his rancor, for his eyes are everywhere upon him, red with rage, and searching endlessly, piercing the very soul.
I'll be the last thing he sees.
Maybe not on this occasion, but these might have been new mini-bosses added with the most recent update. I'm not sure. It may just be that we obviously haven't gone to the surface nearly as much as we have to the underworld, and we haven't always made it all the way up here, what with Eris thwarting our plans on several occasions. Okay. Is at least something over here. Oh! Right, I forgot. You show up on this occasion. And it is a super shop. Not that we can do much at the super shop. Ooh. So, double palm is the most expensive thing the most expensive individual thing that we can afford. And the best result here probably is still the dash. As I was saying, this is a very rare situation where it actually becomes more impactful with each subsequent upgrade, especially when you have this, making it even more damage. So we were to get double upgrade on that, and it continues to be, I think, just a 1 second reduction on every upgrade. Then it becomes a 2 second recharge time. That's almost infinite uptime on this, because we have a 1 second window for it. So that would actually be insane. The thing is, it's hard to go for that when we see the healing that we really need. And the magic, which... It's double magic. We aren't using a lot of magic, but it does give us more life with that Hephaestus boon we picked up here. So... it is a little more meaningful for that reason. Across these two things, these are the defensive upgrades. This one, we don't know what it's going to land on. If it were to land on the dash, then you could maybe make the case it actually is better. But this is certainly the safe option, and it is the low risk, because we don't know what's going to show up with that one option. Okay, we did get a Charon card as well. I also forgot that whatever we were going to pick up first was going to create a copy of something. Not that we were going to be able to afford it anyway. So, alright, we are full life now, going into this encounter, and... oh, that technically could have given us a tiny bit of healing. But that is a very useful resource, because I don't think we had any of those. That said, we only had one of them, and I don't remember when the last time we planted one of them was. So that could be key. And that's all we can do here. So, one way or another, by definition, this has to be the last encounter. As for whether we succeed or we fail, I don't know. I mean, I thought we were gonna fail a long time ago, to be honest. So it's been good just to get here in the first place. If we could somehow pull this one off, that would be pretty unbelievable at this stage. But we have gotten stronger. We also still don't know how much life Typhon has. Typhon does hit for absolutely ginormous damage. He has, I think, the biggest damage hits we've ever seen from anyone. Which is why it is helpful to have skills that reduce the amount of damage he deals. We did have that one that that didn't count as being hit. That hit us. So we don't have a lot of experience with him either. That one I never managed to avoid. I think on our second success, we've defeated him twice. We failed to him, I don't know exactly how many times. That still hits you, even in the exact opposite corner. So the only way to dodge it is by iframe dodging through it, I think, in that case.
Where is Lord Zeus?
So this is the upside of this hex, is that it does actually work on this final boss, unlike on Kronos, where it just doesn't work at all. Okay, so that one's just a matter of timing. Okay, he did get to his first ads phase. That's... Oh, what? I did not know that was a thing! What is going on? So we still have a lot to learn about this encounter, as we are seeing here. Oh, and he's back. He's also just back. Don't know what he's doing there. Break this out. I'd love to get to the Zeus phase as soon as possible, preferably. Ideally not running into that stuff unnecessarily, especially when we're on a hex and theoretically he's getting slowed, and I couldn't even see where we were. I had no idea where we were. And that has happened several times. Ow. There you go. We've used a Death Defiance, and one more hit, and we're probably dead now. Try to get this guy unarmored at least. That's gonna be the end. Oh, or we're gonna live with 2 health. Okay. It was nice knowing you. Oh, I mistimed the dodge. I didn't recognize that was the move he was doing, and so I was mid-dodge as he was already starting the animation and had dodge cooldown, and we're still in the animation when I needed to dodge out of the way. Alright, Kronos, we've still beaten you like 3 times in a row, so...
Gods be safe.
You're not the problem. Typhon is, and as I said, really did not expect to make it to Typhon there, and even at Typhon, probably made it further than expected. Obviously, we can't see Typhon's life bar, so we don't really know how much damage we dealt, but we at least got to 1 ads phase, which I assume happens at a certain percentage health threshold. Probably 25 or something like that. So we at least got there, and we managed to get a decent bit of crafting resources, and we uncovered at least the recipe, if you will, for one of the hidden aspects. So, I mean, things went horribly wrong at the beginning. Horribly wrong. If you factor in that we used, I think, 2 Death Defiances on Polyphemus, and we still made it partway through the Typhon fight, I think we did the best we possibly could to salvage the run. If things had gone better on that first floor, might we have been able to take down Typhon? Yeah, probably, but that was also our highest fear run on the surface before, our first time fighting Polyphemus with the rival form. So a whole bunch of firsts that time round, and you know, if we take it a little bit easier next time round, or just get a little bit luckier with some of the things that happened to us, then maybe we can, some of the bad things that happened to us, then maybe we can still take down Typhon next time we go up to the surface. Obviously, we did get pretty lucky when it came to the positive things that happened to us with the 2 duo boons, which proved to be very good, especially once we were able to upgrade the dash for Hephaestus.
So, how's it going on Olympus recently? Or wherever you were last night? See anything good up there besides the snow? Not sure how come I know about snow.
And if you factor that the last time we had a run to the surface we died to Typhon's tail rather than Typhon himself, does mean that technically we still made it farther on the surface than we did last time we tried to go up to the surface.
I made it all the way to the summit, where I confronted the ancient monster called Typhon. It said that all of the monsters can be traced directly to him, but he's by far the biggest and the worst I've ever seen.
Indeed.
Mel, I'm the one who's supposed to scare you, not the other way around. So, did you beat this guy or what?
Hey, not this time.
Not quite, but I intend to.
Hey, watch it.
Okay.
Princess?
I would love if we could get a crafting recipe, because I assume there will be one eventually, that shows us Typhon's life bar.
The prophecy of Typhon's return, was your interpretation that the gods were going to prevail or not? Or was there any detail you recall that we might use to our advantage?
Might this lead to said recipe?
Well, there was lightning, which I took to represent Zeus. The earth seemed to shake, recalling Poseidon, and a red spear reminiscent of your father's, piercing the storm. But even these specifics don't seem to pertain to the matter at hand.
We've certainly seen Zeus's involvement with Typhon, but nothing from Poseidon yet.
No, I suppose not. The fated list.
And seemingly no updates to that list. Okay, fortunately, we did defeat you. We actually had a surprisingly clean fight against you. It was Polyphemus. The new and more difficult version of Polyphemus that caused us the most trouble, really.
Why are you really here, Eris? Tell me Kronos didn't put you up to this. You've made quite clear that you don't want me to succeed.
Babe, I'm almost hurt. You don't get me at all, do you? Just because I'm not rooting for you doesn't mean I'm rooting for the other guy.
She just doesn't root for anyone.
Then who exactly are you rooting for, pray tell?
I'll let you puzzle that one out.
Yep.
I'll
Or
just clean this up.
just herself. There's never really anyone at the fishing pier. Unless you invite them there. And I guess same thing with the bathhouse.
Look at all this stuff.
Sometimes we see people in the taverna. Last time we saw Odysseus there, actually.
Back at last.
Indeed.
There's more I can do with this cauldron.
There are new things. Let's see. Insight into offerings. Reveal a complete list of each Olympian's boons, among other details, in the Book of Shadows. Does cost a golden apple. That from Eris. Poppy, which is fairly rare in the underworld. You have to go down, I think it's in Tartarus. And then the ambrosia, which we only have one of at the moment. That's for bringing people to the taverna, although no one seems to want to go there with us. So, that's maybe not an urgent need, so we probably could still do this. I'm just not sure, you know, revealing the complete list of each Olympian's boons, among other details. I don't know how useful that really is, but sure, why not? We'll do it.
Oskion Katoski. So mote it be.
Okay. And then, admittedly, I did not check if any of these other recipes were going to require the same resources, because this one does also require some golden apples and some pearls from Scylla and the Sirens. Reveal the next rank of the Vow of Rivals in the Oath of the Unseen to face stronger guardians. Okay, well this does make sense, that it costs 2 resources from Scylla and from Eris, because those are the 2 enemies who would be affected by this. And maybe this is crazy for me thinking this, but part of me feels like I've had, for whatever reason, so much trouble with the base Eris fight. Maybe the more difficult version would actually be easier for me just because it's different. Even if it's in a vacuum more difficult, just the fact that it's different. That might be all I need. I mean, it did go oddly well this time round, but I'm not sure if that might just have been a coincidence. So we're definitely going to take this, and it is confirmation that you can get more rival fights.
Fire and earth, between heaven and hell, make manifest my thoughts, complete my spell. So mote it be.
And then Scylla, once upon a time at the very beginning, we were having serious trouble getting past her, but now that has become much more straightforward. So getting an alternate version of her is also interesting, and probably, maybe a little more manageable, although after we saw Polyphemus get way harder, I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay, and we got a decent bit of darkness, or rather bones from that. And I think we've kind of been making a point of picking up one nightmare per run to the extent possible, and it is possible here. So I am going to do it. Even if that does drop us fairly low, we can still sell a little bit of stuff here to make up for it to a certain extent. And we did use many of the nectars that, in fact, we might now have all of the keepsakes. But it is still possible to gift nectars to people even after getting their keepsake. So I know we've, for the most part, stopped after doing that. We just haven't been very aggressive on the nectar gifting side of things. But that may in part be why people are not all that interested in going to the baths, the fishing pier, or the taverna with us, because we need to first bribe them a little bit more with the basic nectar. So we still have 3. So I don't think we need to order more right now, but there's something to be said for maybe picking up a few more in the future.
Why don't I ever see you on the surface, Nem? Surely we have foes deserving your attention there.
Right.
Death to Kronos is the only task. Won't get caught up in the details like you. Each night you spend up in the mountains, the Titan secures his foothold below.
Okay, but you know, that does completely ignore the fact that Typhon is also a very real threat who isn't going to go away.
You don't see how Typhon's reemergence complicates matters. He's not exactly the sort of problem one can ignore for long.
Really? Watch me.
Alright. Doesn't mean you're right. In fact, you are unbelievably wrong.
Though she may not admit to it, the good witch has been quite concerned about your confrontations with Typhon. Reckon you never trained to take opponents of that size.
I mean, you're also... you're not wrong.
Oh, I trained just last night. Typhon is immensely strong and large enough to blot out the light of the moon, but evidently not invincible. They say Lord Zeus defeated him before.
Oh, also, another big factor in that run was that we got a hex that we really have not used much, if at all, and I was very much not a fan of it, at least in the early stages. Then we eventually got far enough along that it was completely maxed out, and at that point it was decent, but if we had gotten a maxed out hex of almost any other variety, or at least of the damaging variety, which is generally my preference, things may have gone much better still.
They say a lot of things, Goddess. I'm far more interested in your account. If it's your instinct that this monster can be stopped, your word is good enough for me. Though I would also love to see some proof, of course.
Oh.
Of course.
We do have some of the resources dropped from Typhon. So we have some proof in that way.
Salutations to the shades of the unseen.
They're all Typhon's children, every single monster. Just about. Okay, so this is an item from Chaos. Get some seeds from this process as well. Then let's definitely plant you. For sure. Take 77. Wow. Probably go the olive branch as well. Maybe plant both of these. And then maybe plant both of these. What is... It's garlic? Okay, let's go for the mystery seeds. I think it has a chance to be better.
Take all the time you need.
Okay. Nothing from Hypnos. I think that means that's everything here. And that was our first run with Hecuba, the dog, which...
Good girl, Hecuba.
You know, I was saying how the max magic was probably not my preference. I would prefer the max life, but we did still make it work to a certain extent with you, and the max magic did translate to a little bit more life once we got that Hephaestus boon that we eventually did benefit from setting up. And theoretically, there is a new hidden aspect here, so let's check it out.
I see you guarding graves of mortals passed into the black beyond. A hidden aspect. What
do we
sort of
have?
being is this Anubis?
Anubis? I thought The description, who was it that was talking about this? Cersei? The description she was giving sounded like Anubis. You have the Ankh Scepter, which raises lone shades wherever you slay foes. Spirits lingering in some encounters, rally them against your foes using... Oh, okay, so like those shades. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it's hard to call that a primary form of big damage, but then Omega move speed and damage improves, and that's the thing that's going to get better as you level this up, so I think that's more so the thing you're going to build around with this. Also, where does the Fang come from? I do not remember that. Is that from Typhon? That has to be somewhere on the summit, I think. I do not remember it. Okay, so, I mean, we can unlock it. Maybe we'll go for that next time round, although... The torches are the bonus weapon, but getting a little ahead of ourselves there. Let's see what Skelly has to say.
Would you attest to my disciples that I've taught you a great deal when it comes to fighting Typhon? They've been getting a little unruly, and you'll be doing me a favor.
But, Commander, you've not told me anything about him.
This is true.
Ah, I know what this is. You wish to see if I would stoop to speaking falsehoods merely because I was asked.
Ah.
Yeah, that's right.
That was totally the
I'm
plan.
asking real nicely. Come on, young one. Would you just do this for me here?
I'll not bring shame upon us both.
Damn it.
Oh, I thought that was saying that I could gift to this random shade, which was confusing me a bit. Also, I did see one of the shades that we freed had that seemingly sort of jacket, this coat. But we lost the one that had the helmet that was here previously. I want all the cool and out of the ordinary shades.
I see you're getting acclimated to this place.
Oh, that one might have also been one that we got. There was a skinnier shade that caught my attention. Okay, well,
Not impressed.
as I said many times during that run, it may not have been a successful one that defeated the final boss, but we learned a bunch of new things, faced a bunch of powerful boss enemies for the first time, and managed to still get something out of the run when things looked like they were going south really quickly. So it was a bit of a roller coaster ride, but it is still good to see that even when things don't go our way, we do bounce back and didn't just immediately crumble. So with that being said, this is the right time for us to wrap things up. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.